Okay, this video is going to explain how to make a student completion folder within your Schoology course. A student completion folder is just a folder that has various assignments within the folder that you want students to complete. And the nice part about it is that you can set some terms or some requirements on them. So for example, students may not be able to move on to an item until a certain item is completed or until they earn a certain score on a quiz. So it just kind of tracks their progress along the way and keeps track of it for you as a teacher. So if I go into my Force in Motion folder, I'm just going to create it in my unit that I already have created. So I'm going to go into Assignments, and here, I'm going to actually get rid of this one and make a brand new one. Within this folder, I'm just going to create my student completion folder. So you want to create a folder that's simply going to be for the assignments that you want completed in this folder. So I'm just going to name this Student Completion Practice. Color it and create. If I go back to where I just was, just a couple things I wanted to show you. For the date, if you add a due date, this is nice because it automatically syncs to the student's calendar. So they'll see this as a due date on their calendar. And then again, if you're not ready for the students to see it, you can always make it as hidden. But for right now, I'll keep it visible. So then I open up the folder, and here's where you want to start placing everything that you want them to do. So maybe it's just a couple things. Maybe it's a little more lengthy. You can add discussion posts, tests and quizzes, videos, articles, links, websites, just a set of directions that you write down. But basically you can import anything you want into this folder that you want the students to complete. So I've already added some stuff just from my resources that I have just to save some time. So if I go into our PLC folder, I'm just going to import some stuff that I've already put together. So if I just click on these things, this is just simply a pretest that I would want them to take. This is a link to their notes. So just a presentation, a Google presentation. This is a page we've completed that has some directions and then a link to some problems for them to complete. Here's a video we've created on educations, and then finally a discussion post. And I'm just going to import that all. So again, here are the 5 different things I want my students to complete. The next thing I'll need to do is I go to Options and click Student Completion. This is where I get to set the rules. So I'm going to add a requirement. And maybe the first thing I want them to do is I want them to take the pretest. Here I can put that they just have to view the item, post a comment or reply, make a submission, or score at least. It is a pretest, so I don't know how much the score matters, but if I put score as at least, maybe before they move on, I want them to score at least a 10. Okay. If you just want them to submit, you only have to have them make a submission. So when you set a score, it simply means they cannot move on to the next step until they've hit that score. But for a pretest, I'm just going to have them make a submission. Then I'm going to add another requirement, and maybe from there I want them to view the notes. For some items, it's not going to give you a lot of options. So for these, the only thing they can really do is view. So this means the program will keep track if they've opened the link and will not let them move on until they've done so. Then I'm going to have after that, they complete some practice problems. With these, again, you have some options. I'm just going to have them view the item. Then I want them to view a video that Mr. Vaughn created. So for this, again, just view the item. It'll track that they've watched the video. And the last thing I want them to do is post to the discussion board. So they post a comment and we should be good. So I click Save Changes. As a student view, just so you can see what it looks like to them, they'll see now that there's something that they must complete within this folder. And it's here. And it shows the date of when they need to complete it by. and it basically just shows them what everything looks like. So once they open this test, they'll complete the pretest, and this will turn green once they've done the requirement. Once this turns green, they'll be allowed to move on to here. Again, they need to view the item, so they'll have to open it, view it, and this will not let them move on to this next one until they've done this. So it kind of just keeps track of their order from there. Let's go back to my view. One last thing that I wanted to show you, when you're in that options student completion, you do have two options here. So if I click right here, that does mean they need to be completed in this specific order. If you leave this unchecked, it just means that students need to complete all of the items in the folder. And as a teacher, you can see what percentage of things they have done. So it just kind of depends on what you want the two students to do, of whether or not you want to click that option. Last thing, as a teacher, if you click on student progress, you can just scroll through and see how much the students have completed. It will let you know if it's done or if they're 50% of the way through, but it will simply highlight how much of the folder they have completed. And when you click on their name, it will show you which things are done. So for example, if Miriam had already started this, maybe it would show the first 3 are done and the last 2 are in progress. So it's a nice way to keep track of their progress throughout an assignment, and it keeps everything organized into one nice folder.